Welcome to the 2018 OHSAA Student Leadership Conference.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
I look around at this, and I've spoken to so many groups before, but I don't know if I've ever had an opportunity to speak to the very people that we serve. You're our future leaders. Watch any news story, watch any television show. You know what? We need you now more than we've ever needed you. You know what I'm asking you to do? I'm asking you to go back and make a difference. I'm begging you to go back and make a difference. And why am I doing that? So your younger brothers and sisters, your next generation can be here doing this same thing and enjoying the great things that high school sports offer.
This is our 6th one-day student leadership conference that we've held here in this room. And with this one, we've exceeded 10,000 student leaders that we've trained across the state of Ohio. I will challenge you to one thing, and that is I challenge you to take things that you've learned here, just like Mr. Snodgrass did, and take it back to your school and become student leaders and step forward. And I dare you, as the program is this year, I dare you to be great.
One of the biggest reasons that a team will not have a season of significance is because they don't have strong leaders. You've got one half of this hinge, and sometimes it kind of feels like this. We kind of have our act together as the season starts, but then something happens. There's some conflict. Somebody's playing, and we're not really sure if we agree with that decision. Then maybe, as you heard Jerry say, maybe a parent kind of gets in the way, and then the coach gets ticked off, but nobody wants to talk to the coach. And we don't seem to have our act together, but it's the teams who have the leaders, who understand there's gonna be some differences. There's some trials and tribulations, some difficult conversations that need to take place. But if you ask me, a season of significance is gonna hinge on leaders. If we're gonna dare to be great, is to let today be a day where you're willing to reach, stretch, and push, and you're willing to take that leap of leadership. How blessed you are to be able to be in a room like this to hear some great ideas, but it can't stay here. It's got to go back to your schools. And maybe today's a day where you say, I've been on the sidelines too long as far as leadership goes. It's time for me to take that leap. And if you do that, not only will this conference continue to be successful, your schools will have that season of significance that we're all looking for, and it sets you up for whatever is next in life.
Because I don't know about you, but there were so many times in my life when I wore invisible costumes. Like if I was with this group, I would act one way. If I was with this group, I would act completely differently. And if I was with this group, I would act completely differently. Because see, I'm a people pleaser and I want people to like me. So what I used to do is I would change who I was depending on the group that I was with. The problem was I got real confused as to who I was supposed to be with each group. See, I know that in leadership, a lot of times we're told, reach out to other people, work on other people, be great with other people. And it's so hard because we're not feeling that great about ourselves on the inside. And that's when I had to learn. I've got a whole lot to offer. I am a great person, but I have to believe it first. So here we go. I am somebody special. If you don't like me, tough. Because I am cool enough, smooth enough, and doggone it, I am hot enough to be who I want to be.
The two most important days of your life, in your life, are the day you were born and the day you find out why. To be honest with you, I felt invisible for the first 15 years of my life up until this moment. Even though I was the center of attention, no matter where I went, because when you're this good looking, how can you not be? But I didn't have a why. And the immense amount of pain, whether it was physical, mental, or emotional, that I had to go through, and I still have to go through every single day, is now worth it. You don't need to have a rare medical condition in order to have a life of uncertainty, because you already do. And you have two choices. You could let that fear dictate the experience you're going to have it halt your momentum, and you'll never achieve anything. Or you could say, you know what? This is unpredictable. I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I don't know what 5 minutes is going to bring. But isn't that a great excuse to use what you've been given? You've had the ability to overcome everything and anything. You're going to continue having that ability. You are the change. You are the leaders. And it's truly up to you to be the change that you want to see in this world.
Attitude and effort. It's huge. It's the two things that we have complete control over. Attitude and effort. Everybody, I'm assuming, plays sports. Everybody, I'm assuming, is a significant part of your team. Even if you're not, you got to give a maximum amount of effort. And how do you do that? How do you do that? You can't do one without the other. If you don't have a good attitude, you're not going to be able to give maximum amount of effort. That's just the way it is. If you plant a negative seed, nothing positive is going to grow. Maximum amount of effort requires a good attitude. Put your energy and focus in the things that you can control. And as leaders, on and off the field, in the communities, at church, in school, we got to be leaders. How do we become leaders? We become leaders, attitude and effort. It's okay. It's okay to have adversity in life. It's okay to have adversity in sport, as long as you learn from it. You have to learn from it. And it's never ever a failure if you learn from it. One failed attempt doesn't equate to failing. It is never a complete failure if you learn from it and gain an experience.
Here's the deal. You don't know everybody that goes to your school. You don't even know the people sitting right next to you as well as sometimes you think you know. You don't know what's happening when kids go home. And some of you have awesome parents that aren't broken, that did everything right, and I think that's great. But there's some kids in here that don't. Some kids in this room go home and not one person ever talks to them, ever. They're just by themselves. Some of them are going home and you have to be like the parent. You're taking care of brothers and sisters and everything. You got kids in your school that are good athletes. Some maybe be better than you, but they can't play sports because they got to go home and take care and do all the chores and everything in their house because they don't have the options that you have. But you have the power of being an athlete and being a leader that you could bring these kids in. This whole week has been great. I mean, today you've been looking about being captains and how to be better leaders for your team and how to make a difference on all your team. I want to challenge you to look for the kids like me in your school. Look for those kids that nobody's talking to. Those kids that are walking down the hall, people are pointing at and talking behind their back, kids eating lunch by themselves. Try to find one kid the rest of this year and just bring them into your little group. You can change and save a kid's life. We often look at the stuff on the outside of people. We don't look on the inside of people. We don't have to listen to these people. We got to quit listening to people making us feel like we can't do things. Quit comparing yourself. You might not have to be the best athlete in your school. There may be kids better than you, smarter than you, more money, but who cares? There's going to be everybody in this room has talents, and you're going to have a life that's ahead of you that's going to change.